Imagine not being able to do something that takes up 2/3 of your driving test. Did a mock test with Jade the other day. If you haven't seen it, it's hilarious. Click. She couldn't use a sat-nav. And this is something that from doing mock tests with you guys, I come across far too often. Well, I've got everything you need to know. Let's do this. On your driving test, you're going to use a TomTom Start 52 to be precise. If you're new here, welcome. But if you've been around a while and you've seen any of the walkthroughs or mock tests that I've done, it gives quite often wrong, confusing, or misleading instructions. So if you're taking your driving test and you haven't used one before, you're going to want to practice on it. You're not alone in thinking that. I get asked that a lot by students. The reason that we use TomToms, especially the Start 52, is because it can take you on a route. When you program something into Google Maps, it takes you from where you are, from A to B. But what they need on a driving test is to take you from A in a circle back to A again. A programmable route, and you can't do that with Google Maps. The other thing with sat-nav apps like Google Maps and Waze is that it takes you on the fastest route, which means that it will change based on the time of day and traffic conditions. On the driving test, they want to take you on the exact same route every single time. Well, once you've passed your driving test, the options are open to you. You could stick with TomTom, which is the system you've learned on, hopefully, if your driving instructor has one. Or you could switch to one of the apps, like Google Maps or Waze. The benefits of using a TomTom device are pretty much limited to you've learned on it, you've practiced it, so you're familiar with it. But apps on your phone are connected to the internet. They can see where the traffic is and they can route you around the traffic. That's why they always take you on the fastest route. But let's talk about the kicker that makes this decision a no-brainer. You have to pay for a TomTom. The one I've got, the really old one, the one that they use on the driving test, isn't very good. It's not connected to the internet, it can't see traffic, and it won't route you around busy areas. Google Maps will. It's free because you just download it to your phone. Waze is free. To get a brand new TomTom, it's gonna cost you a few hundred pounds. Okay, you're the blue arrow. You're following the blue line. That's your route. Your next instruction is at the top of the screen, telling you what you're gonna do next and how far away it is.
Turn right.
Okay, so the voice guidance is the bit that can be confusing. She'll read you the instruction twice. She'll tell you once, way in advance, and then once just before you get to your instruction. By then, it's probably too late to start doing something about it.
After 80 yards, turn right.
So that's my advance warning. I want to start doing something about it now.
Turn right.
That's my late warning. I should already be focused on the junction that I'm taking at that point. One of the main problems with the TomTom SatNav is just the computer analysing the black roads and making assumptions, so it quite often gets it wrong and misleads you on what to do next. Let's have a look at this.
After 100 yards, bear left, then you have reached your destination on your left.
Okay, bear left, so I'm going to assume I need to check my mirrors and signal for this, but let's have a look at what's actually in front of us.
You have reached your destination on your left.
Okay, so that was just a continuation of the road. I didn't need to, and I shouldn't have done anything about that. Let's stop for a second and just think about that. When the voice on the sat-nav talks about a junction, she's gonna say one of three things: turn left, sharp left, or bear left. Turn left or right is gonna be usually a 90-degree corner. Bear left is where the angle of the corner isn't very sharp, it's quite shallow, an obtuse angle. And then sharp left is where it's a pretty tight corner. That's useful because it sets you up for what you need to do next. But the best way to see what kind of corner it is just by looking at the screen. The map don't lie. Here's the thing that makes it make sense. Sat-navs are so much easier to understand and read when you realize this one thing. Your next instruction, what the sat-nav voice is telling you, is at the white arrow.
The end of the road, turn left, then turn right.
At the end of the road, turn left. Where is it? The white arrow.
Turn left, then turn right.
Once I've completed this white arrow, my next white arrow, my next instruction will pop up.
Turn right.
There it is. So if you're trying to think about what you're doing next, in 220 yards, I'm going to turn right. That's what it says at the top of the screen. It's at the white arrow. That's where I'm going next. The map is so much easier to understand than the voice. Once you learn how to use it properly, the sat-nav can be a really big help. On your driving test, if the examiner says turn left, you're like, okay, right, find the next left. And actually, we can make this so much easier. Just look at the screen. The screen shows you all of the roads around you. All of those black lines around your blue line are other roads. So when the sat-nav gives you an instruction, or you look at the screen and see a white arrow, you can see how many roads are before the one you need to turn.
After 200 yards, turn left.
Also, just like that, she'll tell you how far it is to your junction as well. 100 yards to go.
Turn left.
80 yards to go. 70, 60, I need to be doing something about it. A countdown to your next instruction? Genius. The problem is though, I know, in the sat-nav, it's yards, and you can change it to meters, but on the driving test, they have it in yards as well. Because on UK roads, we use yards and miles. I know what you're thinking. Why? In school we learn meters. What the hell is a yard? For the purposes of this, a yard is as near as makes no difference a meter. So when it says 100 yards, just think 100 meters. And that's easy to work out. 100 meter running track? That's the kind of distance, if you're going 20 to 30 miles an hour, you want to start preparing for your junction. If, on the other hand, your junction is 400 yards away, think 400 meters. That's one whole go around an athletics track. That's probably too soon to start indicating. The other really useful thing about using a sat-nav is when you get it wrong.
Turn left.
The sat-nav says turn left. I was worried on my driving test thinking about what I'm going to do next. I've completely missed that junction. Don't worry, the sat-nav reroutes and takes you on another course. Simple. Guys, hope you found that video helpful. Sat-navs aren't all bad. They're actually quite helpful. They make your driving test a lot easier and a lot less stressful. When the sat-nav says it's advanced warning instruction, you've got time to think about it. You've got time to look at the map, and you've got time to make your decision. Just make sure that you're looking at the map and not only taking voice guidance, because the voice guidance can be confusing, but the map is very clear. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell to get all of our videos in your face, and I'll see you in the next video. Drive safe.